Hello and welcome to race number 8 in the EFRL Next Gen Cup series. This is Matt in the booth. Surely we'll have people kind of joining in here. And practice is going to be ending in roughly around 20 seconds. So far, Dean has kind of carried us throughout the entire time. Malachi Drake has had a good portion first. Jordan's been very solid in the top 5. Forrest Smith, he's been third for a while. Dustin Carroll, same thing. Brian Lorenzo was not in 6th for most of the time. But he is now kind of showing speed. You know, last week he
Okay,
told
mic
us,
check.
I thought I turned that off. All right.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you. I was having issues.
Okay. That should be fixed permanently now. So we'll go back. Right now, the camera's on Will. Will is not there. We'll take a look and see who is on track. He Steele's out there. Camera shows that silver and purple, number 5, as he's entering the track. Been here for all the races so far this season, kind of had an average result. We'll see, you know, if it changes tonight for him. I did get a chance to interview him. I interviewed quite a few people last week. You can catch that on the YouTube channel. Thank you guys for watching it. And pretty much the people that we did interview, you know, people up front, obviously, by getting the top 3. Those people all seem to kind of like that cement feel, which we're going to get here at Nashville. Next week is going to be a Roval, entirely different scenario. And going to be entirely different racing, but tonight, you know, I thought that the racing is going to be a lot better than Dover. Dover was really spread out. Our race control had a chance to actually finish his homework during it because there was one caution early on as a fuel mileage race. Got the rest of it and still crosses the line. Currently 5th. Only 6 people have completed a lap so far. And provisional pole is Patrick. Oh boy. It's like the 46. A very sharp looking scheme. Can't see the number too well, but you know what? I got a ticker that at least matches it, so can't be too picky there. But that was Patrick Colusio. I butchered that, but anyways, Thornton right now is back on provisional pole. That name I can pronounce a lot easier. And second, Travis Lapinus, where Dean has not set a lap yet. I think he's going to be the biggest challenge right now for Zach. Second for him. The third. So who's second? Brian Lorenzo second. He's not going to be sandbagging this race. Going to be starting up front. You know, last week at Dover, he started in the back, made his way through the field, and then won by 18 seconds. That just shows how entertaining the race was. Like Paul Urban, Will Cloud, and Nicholas Fuller. Only people on track. Fuller completed a lap, so he should be done soon. Number 14. Currently in 10th out of people that have qualified. Paul Irving just crossed line 13. And okay, I guess the 14 is done. '51 just finished his lap 2. Oh no, he's on his fast lap. He's going to be cross line out 3 and 4. And 51 is going to finish 3rd. Wow, one heck of a run for him. Some people have not set a time yet, but are on track. Joseph Darnell completed a lap in 15th, which I think that's out of everybody that's set lap so far. He's gonna cross the line. Will he improve? No, he actually lost his spot. That usually doesn't happen. Cross the line and your time goes, well, cross the line and then your position goes down from the first lap, but that's just a coincidence. Dustin Carroll, he's gonna have some work to do tonight. 12th for him. Looks like 1 second, and now we're gonna be waiting for people to grid up. Be having 100 laps here tonight at Nashville. 3 sets of tires. Fuel percentage, it's usually like 60% fuel. In order to give it a pit stop race, but obviously you can't account for cautions because you don't know what's going to happen there. On pole for Thornton to show up, and then I'll go through the lineup. He always comes in last. Fantastic. I'm liking that. So as soon as Thornton decides to poke his head in here, I'll go through the lineup. And are you Dean saying you messed up your lap? So, 4th place is not terrible. Still seeing that front row. Okay, 35 of Zachary Thornton. It's going to be starting on pole for tonight's race. On his outside, the 77 of Brian Lorenzo. Behind him is the 51. Definitely shocked us with the speed he has. 1 win in the season already from fuel saving. We'll see if he can keep it up tonight. It is Paul Irvin. To his outside, the 41 of Dean Demmer. There he is. Behind him, 16, Travis Lapinus. To his outside in 6th, the 45. Has not shown up for a lot of these races. That's going to be Bryn George. And now the field is spreading out. It's going to be a lot more difficult to kind of see it. You see the 81 there of Forrest Smith. The 46. Are you? Oh. Yeah, I'm getting all sorts of mixed up. 46 of Patrick Coluccio. Starting behind the number 7 machine of Aaron Brown. So no lights on the pace car. We are going to be going green very shortly. Blame Thornton for the short lineup just because he wanted to take his sweet time. No, it's always fun to blame Thornton because you can't make fun of him for being slow. He's going to be that typical Duncan scheme. Brian Lonzo, a different scheme. Showing off Pierce graphics. These guys are amazing. And we're going to be going green very shortly here
green flag.
At Nashville. Green is out, and he's going to launch. Brian's going to launch too. Not as good, and he's going to be falling back. Trying to defend from Dean. Dean's going to put his machine down to the inside. Brian's going to slot back in line. Brian's going to fall back to 4th right away. The 51 going to go right up in the 2nd. Someone's in the wall. I think that's Forrest Smith back there in the 81. Manages to keep it going straight, but he's falling back a little bit. He's back to 11th. Right now, hold up 77. Just saw he was fending off 2 lanes of traffic. But they have it all sorted out now. Dean on that back bumper. Yellow flag is out already. We just got going. Darn. Alright, I'm going to take a look and see what happened. The lack of a second person is definitely difficult to see what happened. Oh, it is the 03. We'll see if he got help, and it looks like he did from Carroll. There you go. Tip entering turn 1. Oh, the 07 and 45 got together, stacked them all up, sending these guys around also. Was not expecting that. Kind of just was a stack up. So, gonna go back at that again, looking at the 45. Because that definitely caused this. We'll see if being a racing deal or what happened between the 07 and 45. Oh, the 07 just went straight up the track. That's what stacked them all up. So we'll see how race control wants to deem this officially. Not very many takers down pit road. We had a few. Not many though. This is going to be the first caution of the night. You can see the bright yellow words in your Pierce Graphics sticker right in front of you. Caution that caused the stack up. Caused a stack up. Caused the 03 to get into the wall very hard. That was caused by Malachi Drake and Bryn getting together. I'm also going to be taking a look to see who officially is getting the penalty from that. But we will be going green next time by. Zachary Thorne on the inside. Our friend in the 51 on the outside. See if Paul Irvin can get a better launch than what Brian did last time. But Brian right now, I think he fell back to 4th, gained a spot, put him in 3rd. So he's looking very good for the restart, you know, if the outside line doesn't go. And also, he and Thorne are in the same voice chat, so they can actually communicate very well to each other. Will Cloud not far off from them, and the 45 of Bryn George along with that group as well. And these guys are definitely talking to each other, but Bryn had to pit for some damage. Pace cars to the safety of pit road. In a way, we're going to be going green very shortly. Thornton's going to be launching now. Yep, they're definitely communicating with each other. Brian Lorenzo with a great start. Instantly going to put him in 2nd. Paul Irvin slots back into 3rd, but he's under pressure right now from Dean to fall back to 4th. Followed by a train behind him. But they managed to stay good so far. Thornton being able to pull away to 0.3 of a second already. You can see that gap difference on your screen. And behind him, a gaggle of cars trying to fight it out. 51 falling back a little bit. Right now, Aaron Brown to the inside, trying to complete the pass. Bottom side is the way to go. Can't fight too much on the outside in like some tracks. Because the banking doesn't look to be too big here. I mean, there definitely is banking. But you can see right now, Dean to the inside of the 77, and he's trying to fight, but he just can't. Aaron Brown follows suit, putting Brian back down to the 4th place position. And with this track surface too, you want a tire save. And that's something that Brian's been really good at this season. Zachary Thorne I know can be a good tire saver, but he hasn't really shown it. And Dean also kind of the same boat as Brian. Aaron Brown, as much as I like seeing him succeed, I don't have high hopes for his tires. Dean is starting to slowly reel in the 35 of Thornton. Gap down to 2/10, so in all of that, it's only shrunken a tenth. But a lot of this is going to come down to tire saving, and these guys are not. Wreckpone, there's a piece of wood in front of me. Hopefully you heard that knocking. But these guys, for the most part, really clean. As shown by last week, one caution the entire time at Dover of all tracks. But we have one caution here very early on. So it's may have more than last week. Which it's still less than the Gen 6 series, so. That group average is about 5 a race, which still isn't bad, but there also is 25 to 30 cars a race. Right now we have 22. With Brady Floyd picking up the tail end, not feeling well tonight, doing his starting park. Just trying to get those points, but he's going to be clocking in at 22nd for the standings. Still looking good, though, to make the playoffs from his perspective, because ultimately that is your goal for a driver, and then you kind of want that spark to come. But right now it looks like Dean kind of is the man to beat. He's been doing well in every race so far. Thorne's trying to hold him off, but Dean is slowly inching to his bumper. Right now he's actually on top of it, but just can't find a way to get around Thornton. Thornton has a very solid line. Not really phased by the pressure of the 41 right on him. And then Aaron Brown just staying in the wings of it all, and Brian has fallen off a little bit from this pack. He's currently battling Fuller to stay inside the top 5. Well, these guys are battling inside the top 5. Dean right now to the inside of the 35 through turns 1 and 2. Thornton on the outside trying to defend, but just shows how strong the inside line is. Even though Thornton's putting up one heck of a fight, outside has not passed a single car yet so far. We are about 15 laps in. But Dean has not completed the pass either, so it's the biggest fight we have shown, and Thornton can do a good job on both lanes. He's keeping his space, but also not giving up a ton of time to battle. These guys being still side by side, and it looks like on off of exit, the 41 is going to clear him. Throwing with a little of a run out of the turn, but he's going to slot back in line. New leader, the 41 of Dean Demmer. We'll see if Thornton, if he's going to fall off, kind of being that dirty air, or if he's able to stay close. Just like Dean has stayed close to him, and see if Aaron Brown can try and pull any moves too. We're looking for some battles throughout the field. Brian has lost his fight to Fuller. Will Cloud still in the 6th place position. Paul Irvin, he's fallen back to 9th. Actually, right now, under pressure, 16 able to get under him. Of Lapinus, right now he is in 10th. But for how long? Because the doors open wide and he's really high in the turn. 45 going to make it around with ease. The number 2 also trying to get there is right now hanging on his quarter panel. able to slot back in line, but lost 3 positions in 1 lap. Behind him, he's got some fast guys of steel and Malachi Drake trying to make up his ground. There is another caution. I will check the chat to see if that was confirmed to be Malachi's fault for the first wreck, or if they deemed it a racing deal. Because even though they got stacked up, the actual caution came out from the 03 being backwards on track. Gonna go back to the pack a little bit so you can see all your favorite drivers. Pack right here is at the moment the most entertaining. All they're doing is they're just passing Paul Irvin. Poor Paul. I don't know if he's trying to tire save or if, you know, his tires are going, because he's got short-term speed, as you've seen from qualifying, being starting all the way up in third, but falling back right now and trying to defend right now against the 15. Caution is out once again. Definitely not going to be like Dover. These guys are a lot closer to each other. Going to find out what caused that. Yeah, I don't see anyone at fault for that first caution. Okay. All right, lights on the pace car. See if anybody's sideways. Oh, 03. Oh, he's just binding his time. Oh, it's the 81. And he instantly went down pit road. Well, towed to pit. Oh no, he just blinked out of existence. This will be difficult with him blinking if I can see exactly what happened to him. Looks like single car spin. It looks like really tight off of the turn. Hit the wall. Trying to save it. Did a victory burnout down the front stretch. And then he blinked out. He's going to come back. Trying to rejoin the track. Got a few guys down pit road. Actually, now will be a good time. I probably missed the bulk of them. Trying to go through all the replays. And yeah, everybody pitted except for Matt Cochran. He's trying to pull something out of his sleeve. In the pits, Zachary Thornton's crew was able to get a better job than Dean's. Thornton, well, still in second, but ahead of Dean. But good news for Thornton, though, because he can be on the outside. the lane that the 4 car is not, because he's not going to get a very good jump. As soon as that 4 car launches, though, he's going to get swamped. You'll see with the tire difference. But I don't know if I do that. Being 25 laps in, 3 sets of tires, you think maybe now would be a good time to take a set. Although ideally you would want it lap 33 to be exact, but we're really close to that. I was like, I could be saying bad strategy, and then he wins the race, and then, well, I look like a fool. Which, that would be interesting. But he would have to have it go exactly his way, which is possible, but from where he was before, I guess it is worth the risk. The lights on the pace car, we're going to be lining up. He's going to be going on the outside. Only the pole position, well, only the leader can pick outside or inside. Everybody else has to go exactly where iRacing told him to go. And we'll see how this goes, if he's able to fire off or if the top side's going to get stacked up. And also, likewise, if the bottom, because Zachary Thornton, he has to let the 4 car launch first, and then after that he can launch. So I don't know if there'll be any issues with that as well. But we'll see. A lot of the fast guys are on the inside. Well, your typical fast guys, although Aaron Brown and Fuller have been doing very well this race. And then there's some guy named Will. Pace car down safety pit road. He goes really early. I didn't know that was a... He went before the Geico restart zone. He went as soon as the pace car left. That was something. I'm hoping race control can give us a little insight to that here in the booth. You know, less what's going on with it. But with those tire difference, Thornton able to catch him with ease. And actually, I don't know if there's contact between the 7 and 4, but he definitely ran him up the track. Contact! Big time! The 7 tries to... Aaron Brown just wrecked himself. Caution is out because of that. I'm gonna try and look from a different angle at what happened, because I definitely think I know what just happened. Yep, so off of the turn. Although the 4 car was a little lower than normal, I'll give him that. So they got together side by side, and then ultimately after that, it put the 7 of Aaron Brown sideways and kind of caused that stack up. So definitely might not be Aaron's fault. Might be a racing deal there, but we'll see what race control has to say about that. I didn't see anything about the first one. But then again, he could just be saying it over the radio. And if it is a racing deal, then, well, I'm not going to see anybody who's actually been EOL'd. So that could be that also. And Aaron Brown has disconnected. Probably some damage to the toe link. That doesn't shock me. Yep, and just add some drama because that's what I do. You know, like stirred up some drama. We'll just say Cochran was not happy at Aaron Brown. But we are just shy of a third of this race and already 2 yellows. We had a few people take a DNF so far. A few people on pit road for a long time. Like Justin Hughes, he's been on pit road a long time repairing damage from that first caution. He's 4 laps down. Aaron Brown took the drive into the garage. Now 3 laps down, but he's going to ultimately probably finish his day in 20th. Justin Carroll looks like he didn't start the race. Which is interesting because Brady Floyd didn't either. Yep. Yeah, Matt. Yeah, I know. I saw what you said in the Discord, so I don't know if you heard me there. But yeah, we know you're not happy with that. I know after looking at it, I'd have to look at it in kind of slow motion because I just looked at fast speed if that was his fault. But yeah, I am curious if Aaron Brown would have gotten the EOL on that one. Finally have no lights on the pace car. And we're going to be going green next time by Thornton on the inside, Dean on the outside. Very typical. I don't know what happened to Will Cloud, but he is somehow in the top 3. And Brian trying to be different, you know, give his sponsor, Pierce Graphics, some TV time by standing up from the cloud by going way down to the apron. And we're going to be going green to the Geico restart zone. Thornton fires off. All 3 cars in the inside line in the same chat. They get going great. Probably going to put Dean all the way to 4th because of that with Brian Lorenzo just being able to stick with the top 2 guys. But actually, oh, netcode! Oh no! That's a big one! Oh no, and that was entirely netcode too. I'm sure from Dean's cockpit, he's gonna be like, the 48 turned me, but I'll take a look at that again. 100% netcode. Sucks. And that'll be the 3rd yellow for tonight, and we are on lap 33. So we're gonna be looking at a good angle for this thing. I'm liking Chopper. So yeah, Dean tried to got the 48 a little loose, still a little netcode. Actually, yeah, I got the 48 into. So I said that wrong earlier. Will was probably thinking that Dean wrecked him, but there was a little netcode between the two. Got Will loose up into the wall and then just in front of the entire field. Gonna try and be going. I guarantee you Will's gonna be going down pit road. He is trying to repair that damage. Does look like the majority of people stayed out because everybody down here is people that got involved in the wreck. Dean able to continue. Paul also able to continue. And his Will's got the brunt of the damage. Hopefully Will can get back on track. Ah, shucks. Okay. Yep, there Will goes. I don't know if his car is fully repaired, but I do hear pace car is close. But his car is at least drivable again. That car looks to be fairly clean. But depends where you get the damage. Like Cochran said that he had 5 minutes of required from his contact earlier, and he was just pancaked into the wall. And yeah, Will's just trying to get all of his optionals repaired. Definitely had to go because pace car was close by. Actually, I think what I'm going to try and do is I'll show everybody going on pit road, and then I'll try to show the replay of it. Just because it takes a lot more time, and I guess if it doesn't work out, if I hear green, 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 then I'm going to have to drop everything I'm doing. Because that'll at least eliminate kind of the color commentary that you just need to talk off the top of your head, and hopefully it's appropriate and makes sense. And it'll kind of reduce some of this time, and I can actually show people that go down the pits. We're going to be trying this again one more time. And we'll see how far we get, but it seems like every time we stack them, something unfortunately happens because Will Cloud and Dean Dem are both very talented drivers. Have been doing this for a while. And that, I think, was entirely netcode, so fortunately, yeah, that yellow does exist, but a few of them could have been avoided. Like between the 4 and 7, I thought was a little aggressive. Pace car going down pit road, and we're going to try this once again. People aren't bunched up on the top sides. That's interesting. They're going to fire off, and it looks like Brian's going to have a chance to slot down if he so chooses. And he does. But Malachi Drake has found his way back up into the top 5, currently in 4th as of now, putting pressure right now on the 14 of Fuller after recovering from that first caution. And right now it looks like 2nd through 5th is all under a blanket. And then a short gap between Lapinus and Bryn George. Cochran has been able to get it back out on track. So I think 5 minutes of required is up, but he fell to he fell at 19, so he's not going to be having a great rest of the race. Steele in front of him, also involved in a wreck. So Steele's 7 laps down, and Cochran is 9 laps down. Backup cars has reeled in Zachary Thornton due to the draft. Showing how important it is here. I think Brian mentioned that last week. The 14 going high in the turn opens the door up for Malachi Drake. We'll see if that inside lane can work still. And although the 14's putting up quite a fight, I think the 7's going to clear him right now, and he does. Malachi Drake putting himself into the third place position. Have not talked to him yet for an interview, which I know his time is coming very soon. And he right now has his sights on that blue bumper of Brian Lorenzo's Purist Graphics machine. Right now stalking him, and in the turns he's kind of just following him at the moment. Eventually he's gonna get a run like he did now, but Brian went to the inside to cover. Okay, not going on the outside to try and make the pass, because that probably would just open the door up for the 14 to pass him back. I think he's going to be trying to get a run, going to the inside of Brian like he does right now. Going to be diving it in there. Actually, Brian had a very slow entry. Going to lose 2 spots in 1 corner. So Brian fell back to 4th, right now under pressure from teammate Bryn George. And it looks like, oh, the 4 slid up into Bryn, stacking him 3 wide right behind him with Dean on the outside. I don't think this is going to be pretty. They managed to get through that. Will just decided to push the 4 instead of pushing the issue, which was very smart. And somehow we actually survived, and Dean got through that, and right now we're back to single file. So Dean trying to battle for his 5th place position now. Bryn putting a foot up on the top side to make a little contact off of exit. But they're all good. Dean backs out of it and actually now is under pressure from the 4. But he's trying to go around the high side, which I don't think is going to very work. Little wiggle out of 41. And Bryn comes down to block the inside lane. Right now these guys are battling hard. The 4 is trying to go on the outside of these 3 wide temporarily. But that very top side's not going to work, and that aggression's just going to cost him. Will Cloud's going to say thank you for opening up the gap, and I'm going to have that 7th place spot now. As I was talking, Dean was able also to get by as well. And Wayne Lowe is putting more of a fight up than I thought he would. And as I say that, I know Will is going to clear him, but Will just got tight off of the center. Going to cost him some time. He cannot clear Wayne quite yet. Actually, Wayne uses that to advantage and takes the spot back. I definitely wasn't expecting to see the top side be able to defend so well, but Will also has a lot of damage, which could be contributing to being so tight. And Malachi Drake, 2nd right now, chasing down leader Zachary Thornton Bryan, who was 2nd, down to 4th. And Malachi Drake, we'll see at the halfway point if he can take the lead over Thornton or not. But we haven't seen any mistakes of Thornton so far. He just had a very solid and steady race. Although we've seen him pass, he's always kind of been able to get that top spot again. And he is defending, not blocking, that inside line. Kind of going to the inside, making sure that Malachi Drake can't get there. And I need some water. Hopefully you didn't hear that, or that would be a very interesting noise. Oh, drinking water. But it doesn't look like much has changed in this regard. Gap has still stayed very steady. About a car length between the two. These guys are spaced out now, which means we can probably log in some laps, but this is a very big track. And being 10-16, it's not going to go as quick as Dover did last week. And we also have some lap traffic. We're catching 2. In the 5 of Steel. Steel's going to be high and out of the way. Not affecting this any little bit. And eventually, I'm expecting Drake to get a run on Thornton, although it hasn't happened yet. And I think as these tires are worn, these guys are evenly matched on pace. And actually, I think Thornton's saving his tires a little better. Caution is out. I'm going to try my theory to see how this will go. Caution on lap number 53, so I can try and find the cause of it. And I'll see if this works out. If it doesn't, well, I'm just embarrassing myself in front of 7 people. Plus, whoever watches this later on. Okay, so I do need to do a little color commentary, and these people are going to be going down pit road in a lap or 2. And yep, going down right now. So actually, I think this is going to work. Thornton's going to be leading a whole pack of cars down pit road. I assume the way to go would be 4 fresh tires, being at a halfway point. But you never know. And then some people may take the opportunity for some tire strategy. But regardless, it's still going to be one more stop to the end of this thing. Probably for tires, I'm not sure if they can make it to the end on fuel. Like right sides for Thornton, is the left side of the car going to go up? Yep, 4 tires for Thornton, 4 tires for Brian. That's all I can see on my screen. Thornton going to be leading us off of pit road, followed by the 07. Or actually, no, because I got my ticker on the left. So car was up. Dean going to be passing Malachi Drake. Malachi Drake in 3rd, and I'm going to see what caused our caution. And it is the 45 Porbrin. Oh, wow. 51 has also got some heavy contact as well. But looks like it definitely started with Bryn in the 04 Packer. I think I know what's going to happen here. So, yep, bumper hook. 16 also involved. And then how the 51 get flying? Oh, Bryn just didn't hold his brake. Oh, no. But Bryn has exited the session. His chat has also been disabled, so something's been going on there. And another one bites the dust. Over halfway, at least this time. I think these people are still on track. Our lap cars probably trying to get the natural wave around. Matt Cochran trying to go from 8 laps down to 7. Yep. And the 03 of Justin Hughes trying to go from 4 laps down to 3. So these guys aren't going to be on the tires. And yeah, I do agree with you. It looks like you got bumper hooked into the wall. I mean, only thing that really to blame for would be not holding your brake coming down the track. But the Ford definitely hooked you into the wall. However, before being judgmental, I'd have to talk to the race control because it doesn't look like that we see eye to eye on this thing, which is perfectly fine. I'm sure he has a good reason. At least I hope so. Pace car down to pit road. And Thornton going to be leading us to green from that high side. The way they go, the inside stacks up big time. Thornton with big run because the 41 just didn't get going, but he's able to still slot it into second. Malachi Drake up to, well, actually, he was third to begin with. Brian Lonzo right now putting pressure on the 14 for the 4th place position right off the bat. Probably going to have to slot back in line, though. Back there, see Will Cloud was battling 16. All these guys all the way from first all the way to see Patrick Colusio. All kind of are in a single file line as of now. Patrick trying to use that high side, see if he can gain anything back there on Travis, but not successful. Just started lap number 60. We have 40 laps to go here at Nashville. 10:23 on the clock. Making good time. Probably people with early classes or the dreaded word work tomorrow. And I think this race, our race control is not able to get his math homework done during it because we've had a total of 4 cautions. We have a little of a breakaway going on here. Thornton Dean and Malachi Drake. And then there is a 7.5, well, we'll say 7 now, tenths of a second gap between the two. And then with the second pack kind of forming with Fuller, Lorenzo, and Will Cloud. Oh, and actually all the way back down to the 83. 61. Sorry, different hues. And Brian's got to try and make quick work of the 14 if he wants to catch that front pack. Because right now it looks like he's being held up by all these people behind him. But the 14, give him benefit of the... Well, not benefit of the doubt. More of a kudos. Good job kind of keeping a very, very solid line for the 4th place run for him. And with Brian right on your bumper. And actually trying to make the pass right now to the inside. And off of turn 4, Brian's going to clear 14. 14 got tight, opening the door up for Will Cloud also. Those guys are going to sneak on by. And Travis, yep, as soon as that door opened, it was bursting through the seams. People trying to get by. And now Brian is about 1.5 seconds off of Malachi Drake. So it's going to be difficult for him to reach it. Not a walk in the park like it was last week. But, you know, we do have 35 laps left in this thing. Still a lot can happen. And I totally jinxed this race. So, that's on me. I guess I deserve an EOL for that one. Gonna hurt my rec score from a 5 to a 4 after tonight's race because I jinxed the field. Top 3. Kind of still where I left them not too long ago. Although Malachi Drake is stalking Dean Demmer's bumper. The 51 quite significantly slower. That car, I just see the right rear wheel. He's got to baby that thing. He has some hard contact with Bryn early on. And he's doing a good job trying to keep out of the way. Unfortunately, his night is probably going to come to an end, and he's currently in 13th, 1 lap down. Might lose a lap to Joseph Darnell. Or might lose a spot to Joseph Darnell, who's in 14th. But if the yellow were to come out, Paul Irvin would be the car to get the lucky dog. Or just kind of help him, I don't know, not lose more laps, because that car does not look fun to drive at the moment. Not as fun as Zachary Thornton is having out here. Absolutely killing the race. Not pulling a monstrous lead. Up at 3 and 4, you can see Dean was able to get to the throttle before Thornton was. I don't know if right now the tire saving is kind of helping Dean. And I also don't know how much tire saving Thornton and Malachi Drake are doing, but that's looks like it kind of what's going to come down to that. And some of these guys might have an extra set of tires left. Some of them may not. So saving that set, even though I call it stupid early on, would help. Except Cochran's run, the only guy that did that, came to an end early on. Steele going lap down, but as Dean was trying to get around him, he could not utilize the full track, affecting him a little bit. But, you know, still within that car length of Thornton and Malachi Drake. His tires are looking tired, and he's fallen off to be 3 to 4 car lengths. More like 3, I think. Oh, Thornton got tight off of the turn. Dean tried going below the 35. Thornton came to cover. Dean trying to go around the outside to take the lead right now, side by side for the lead. Here on lap number 74. And if he does it, it'll be the first time I've seen tonight. I'm sure it's happened and I just haven't seen it. On someone taking the lead from the outside, but it is a lot of work what Dean is trying to do. Early on we saw the 04 use that lane to defend. Dean is not clear yet of Thornton. Thornton still has the inside line advantage. And you can see on entry, Thornton's able to gain some, but he cannot utilize it to his full advantage. And Dean able to successfully make the pass, leading here with 25 laps to go. Malachi Drake, because these guys were side by side, was able to catch up, but Drake is tight. We just saw him give a little love tap to the wall. And behind him, Lorenzo and Lapinus, they look like they're really close to each other. They're not. So it's probably for a split second. Brian passing Travis. And the closest battle we have right now is for the lead. Even though Thorne got passed, he wasn't obliterated and Dean's not pulling away. They're keeping a very constant pace from each other. But Brian definitely saved his stuff. You can see that ticker going down. Brian's pushing it, and he's getting closer and closer. Time's right now down to 5/10. As I get around the 51 for the second time. Yep, Brian's in this fight right now. We'll see what Malachi Drake can do to defend, but Drake being so tight, I don't think he can hold up Brian so much, and Brian's just got there in no time. Back to less of a 10th between Drake. Drake goes to the inside to defend. Wasn't really much of a defend. Brian just walked around the outside. Probably would have walked around regardless. And right now, throwing it into the wall. So Brian saved his stuff very well. And up to second right now, making quick and easy work. We'll see what he has for Dean. And if Dean was able to tire save at all, because it looked like early on he was doing a good job pacing himself against Thornton. And right now, the 07 trying to get to the inside of Thornton. Thornton able to cover though. I think those two in third and fourth are going to fall off. We have 20 laps to go. And we do have a battle going on for the lead. We're going to see if Brian is able to get alongside the 41. And if the 41 is able to defend in any way whatsoever. And you can see back of your screen. Malachi Drake trying once again to complete the pass on Thornton. And he does put himself up in the third place position. Thornton battling back as hard as he can. Right now, side by side for third. I also want to take a look for the lead too, because Brian's poking his nose down there. I think I can keep them in the same shot. Well, right now, we have a battle side by side for third. You know, these guys are dying to be able to talk for an interview after the race. Hear my lovely voice once again. I totally don't care about points. And Malachi Drake able to put himself there. Slot in his car. Actually, well, Thornton slot his car right behind. Let's see if Thornton can get a run back. And it doesn't look like he can. I think this battle right now is settled. And I'm going to go back up to the lead. Oh, it's not settled. Thornton just closed in on exit to the 07. But they've been staying about steady down the backstretch. And you can see Thornton cannot wrap the bottom as good as Malachi Drake can. And Brian Lorenzo can wrap it even better than all these guys. But Dean has shown that he has a lot more left in the tank. than what appeared to seem. Paced himself. I don't know if he pushed Drake and Thorne to kind of use up their stuff to keep him at bay. But Dean was able to save and keep the pace up. Brian was able to, just save, but turn the burners on when it mattered. Right now he's still stalking him. Doesn't look like he has a run to get to the inside. Now I'm just waiting. One corner, that's all it takes. We're now down to 15. Time is running out. Dean sees a mirror full of white behind him. White and probably a little blue from the spoiler. Probably can see part of that Pierce graphics. Brian's getting a lot of Coca-Cola in his front windshield. I don't think his lap car in front of him is going to play much of a factor, because he's been staying high the entire time. Here, so this is the third time where Paul has dropped to... Yeah, I said earlier about losing the spot to Darnell. Justin Hughes is also losing. He also lost 3 spots as well, so I think Paul Irvin's going to have to settle for 13th. And Steele also has a very damaged car. He's 10 laps down. But he is battling Cochran. Those guys would be fighting for 16th, but they're 3 seconds apart from each other. I also see on my screen Fuller is close to the guy in front of him. Oh, he's actually side by side with Thornton. Able to navigate lap traffic. So Fuller also has saved his stuff. Able to pass Thornton, and Thornton really wants yellow. I don't know if he has a set of tires left though. Or if Thornton just wants to go to the end and try and fight for a top 5. Alright, we're at that 10 laps to go mark. The second half has gone a lot faster. A lot smoother than the first half has gone. As I'm doing this, I'm watching the ticker, and the gap actually has gone up a 10th between Dean and Brian. Last week we interviewed Dean, but he said he wanted a legit interview, not because third place had to go to bed. It looks like he is going to get a legit interview. Currently leading this, and well, I was going to say pulling away, but excuse me. But Brian's actually close. Oh, I gotta switch to that. Brian right on the back bumper of Dean. I think they were side by side for a second. Dean trying to use the apron actually to defend. Brian to the outside right now. Trying to make a move, but couldn't do anything about it. Trying to switch back over to the inside. Dean tight on exit. And Brian trying to go in a lane that Dean is not. Trying to get a run on him. You can see that 41 kind of washing up on exit. Just wants this thing to be over with. But Brian, oh, he left the door open for Brian because his car is tight. Brian's taking that inside advantage. Dean into the wall, so tight, and new leader Brian Lorenzo. Dean's not going to be able to battle back because at 41, he's used up all his stuff. Brian's outsmarted him. Well, in the tire saving game. And Brian's leading this thing. We'll see if he can hold on and get back-to-back wins. Based on how 41 is reacting, I'm not expecting him to be able to catch up and give us another fight for the lead. I'm expecting, these last 5 laps. But Brian probably just to pull away. Probably a second or two. Actually, Dean's closed. Whoa, wasn't expecting that. Dean's actually closed in the gap, cut the distance in half. I think Brian got tight that turn. So we do have a race for this. Dean gonna get to the bumper of Brian, just a little love tap. These guys are good. With 4 laps to go, we have a race for the lead. Even though Dean has caught him, he still now has to try and find a way to get around him. And also, it's about controlling your car too. Trying to be able to still get a runoff, even though you can't dive it in as you usually would. Just based on the tires. And if you dive it in a little too far, then you're going to wash up the track, open up that inside. Like Brian has right now, open it up. He's trying to close the door. And this lap car in front of him is going to stay out of the way. No, he's in the way. He's on the inside, though. And he's going to hold up Dean more than anything. Gap has opened up about a car length between the two because of that. Because Brian was able to catch him on entry. Dean was able to catch him in the center of the turn. Dean with a sending it into the turn. We'll see if he can keep that on exit. His car's washing up. Dean into the, almost into the wall. Had to check out of that. And we'll see his time is running out. If Dean can get one more shot into the lead. Separated by 2 car lengths. White flag is in the air. 1 lap to go here in Nashville. Right now on the bumper, diving it in very deep. He goes to the outside, but that car is tight. I don't think he can get it to stick. Brian able to pull off on exit. I think that was Dean's only shot. And Dean's going to send it into the turn. Not send it into Brian, though. And out of 3 and 4, Brian Lorenzo is going to win 2 in a row here at the cement tracks. Had to earn it for sure, though. Then 41 in second. Malachi Drake, we're going to be talking to him later. In third. Nicholas Fuller in fourth. Zachary Thorin managed to hold on for a top 5. Travis Lapine is 6th. Patrick Colusio 7th. Frank Hughes 8th. Will Cloud 9th. James Coy 10th. Brian Norsworthy 11th. Joseph Darnell 12th. Justin Hughes 13th. Paul Irvin 14th. Wayne Lowe 15th. Matt Cochran stuck it out 16th. Same with Steele 17th. And then people at DNF, Bryn George, Forrest Smith, Aaron Brown, Dustin Carroll, and Brady Floyd. These guys are lining up right now for the picture. Gotta wait for the 07, and then I will pause the screen. He'll do his burnout celebration. Oh. No, Dean. Not supposed to do that. But picture will be interesting. I'll be a little creative because Dean, I think, hit the escape button. and we'll be having people go up for interviews very shortly. So yep, they all popped into the interview waiting room. We are going to start up with third place finisher Malachi Drake. Hey Malachi, Matt in the booth. You copy?
I copy.
All right. Your voice sounds very familiar. Although it's the first time we got in the top 3 in this series, so how is it? Getting a very successful result.
It feels good. I feel like there's some races where I've thrown away opportunities to get top 3 and contend for wins. So to close out the deal and battle at the 14 there at the end for third, it felt good. Just have to improve a little bit more on tire saving to contend for these wins with how good Brian is at it.
Yeah, no, he has done a great job. Kind of came out of nowhere. But still third place. Great run for your team. I know you've been showing up to all these races, so you are looking good for playoff picture as well. A little farther down the road, all the way in April. But kind of how was it? Like, was it mainly a tire saving game tonight, or like what other strategy was put in play as well?
At the end there was we were kind of close on fuel. I think everyone pretty much made it, but other than that, it was mainly about not wearing out the right front tire. And I was struggling with that quite a bit. To stay up there at the top 3, I thought I would run hard to start off the run just in case they made a mistake and I could get the lead and then save. But it didn't happen, and then I paid for it at the end. But no, just had to figure out how to save better and still have speed.
Gotcha. Yeah, I know that's a question that literally everybody has. How can I save and still be fast? But yeah, ultimately it's kind of what has determined to winning a lot of these races. They haven't been, your hectic traditional iRacing league, I say. But before we let you go, anyone you want to thank for your performance tonight?
I think Brady. No, he's not feeling well, so shout out to him and thank you for broadcasting and good race towards the end after we get past the caution. So good job to all the drivers.
Yeah, it was very entertaining. Well, thank you for your time and have a good rest of your night.
All right, you too.
All right, that was Malachi Drake. Had him in the booth. You could probably see. Um, I think I did one LRL broadcast before, but that league doesn't exist anymore, and he's been a big portion of that. We're gonna talk to Dean next. Hey Dean, Matt in the booth. You copy?
Hey, how's it going, Matt?
Hey, so you do have your legit interview this time. So how was that? I know you had a great battle there with Brian there at the end.
Yeah, I'm heartbroken, man. We got caught up in that wreck early in the race and somehow was able to drive back to the field. The dirty air is absolutely horrendous. Um, After the update with these cars, they don't turn at all. Before they wanted to turn too much. And yeah, I mean, I managed my tires behind Zachary and Malachi there, and I was able to drive away from them. But when I saw Brian coming with friggin' 20 laps to go, I knew it was probably doomed. And then I was doing pretty good controlling the dirty air, and I saw it get tight and get in the wall a couple times. So I thought maybe if I just managed, I was gonna be able to get it. And then I don't know, with 7 laps to go or something, um, I just missed my turn in point into one, and it wouldn't turn down to the bottom, and then got around me. And then I was a little confused when he started brake checking the corner. I was like, what is he doing? And then come to find out he's saving fuel, and then I just tried to send him on the last lap, but it didn't work.
Yeah, I saw it in a square shot in the bumper. Like, oh, they're making contact, but they're still being clean like they always are.
Yeah, racing Brian is fun. He's the last person I wanted to see. I had it, but yeah, I mean, congrats to him. He deserves it. He is able to save his tires really well in the series, so props to him.
Yeah, I know. I was seeing there at the end, as soon as Brian got by, and he was just pulling away, and then well, Dean came here out of nowhere. I guess we have a race to the finish, but it was very entertaining. Nice job to you, and that's kind of building some momentum. I know next week we're going to the Roval, so very different. But how are you feeling about that?
Uh, I don't know. I feel like I've been pretty good on road courses with the next gen, at least at Indy and Watkins Glen and whatnot. So I'm not too sure how the Roval is going to be, but we'll go out there and give it our all like we always do.
Yeah, I think that one will be interesting because uh,
I'm
unique.
assuming
It's
they're not.
sorry.
No, that's all right.
Oh, I was just gonna say it's a unique track. Didn't want to cut you off. It wasn't really important.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say I don't know how the caution thing is gonna work, so I don't know if we do full course cautions or not in this series in this league, but um, should be fun.
Yeah, I know before because I did it with the ARCA cars. I don't think there's a full course yellow unless the track is absolutely blocked.
Okay, I gotcha. I I wanted to apologize to you. I left the game.
Yeah, I know. I
I
saw. I have a picture here of the top three people,
yeah
and there's like a ghost spot where you'd go.
yeah that's my bad. I was upset, so I just quit. But I totally forgot about the picture. But no, it's all in all, it was a good race. I should be more grateful than I am, but second sucks.
Yeah, still had a great finish though. Before we let you go, anyone you want to thank for your performance?
I just I just want to thank you guys and for putting on the broadcast. It's always entertaining to rewatch or to watch live while I'm racing. I do that sometimes too. And I just want to give a shout out to Brian there. He raced me clean, and it was a fun battle. It seems to be a common thing.
Yep, yeah, it's been the same all season. Also, I'm glad not to put you to sleep. I know we're getting close to 11 o'clock, but still want to keep you awake. But
Yeah. I was definitely awake. My heart rate had to been like at least 450 the last 10 laps. So not falling asleep anytime soon.
well, now you gotta decompress and tomorrow ahead.
Yeah, go relax.
All right, well, thank you for your time and have a good rest of your night.
Hey Matt, you too. Thank you, man.
All right, that was Dean, second place finisher. You can see his ghost car right in between the 07 and 77. Up next is gonna be Brian Lorenzo. Hey, Brian, Matt in the booth. You copy?
Yep, loud and clear, man.
All right, so for starters, were you expecting to win the race? Because you seem like you're out of a rocket ship those last 20 laps.
No, it was just pretty much same thing as Dover. At a concrete track like this, it's all about tires. It's all about discipline and keeping those tires safe. So I think I was the only car who really used fifth gear for the entire run, and since I was just saving the entire run until those laps, last 20 laps, started naturally gaining, made my moves, and we just put ourselves in the front with a couple laps to go.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, it definitely paid off. Because you were like sixth place position most of that, and a couple seconds off of the lead, and then just out of nowhere when everybody else's tires fell off. But also, how was it there battling Dean at the end?
Yeah, once I got by him, I had the quick realization that was a lap short on fuel.
Oh, that's
So
what caused
I
that.
was checking up in the corners, trying to lift and defend the inside. But what had happened was, and the only reason I was able to hold on was I saved my rears really well with the fifth gear, and I wasn't pushing really the entire run until really I got behind Dean. So I was able to. It didn't matter how hard he sent it into the corner. I was able to just shift it to fourth and just get
Dane. Well, yeah, so I guess couldn't have been any more perfect in that regard. But you know, you also have a different scheme here tonight, Pierce Graphics.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We decided to do something a little different. You know what I'm saying? Ran this in the cast car race. Actually, Sunday we won that one. So
Lucky.
back-to-back league wins for me. So
Well,
let's
and
go.
also last week, you know, winning at Dover too. So back to back, EFRL
Yep.
wins as well.
To continue the pattern, we did 4 Cloak Media. Now we did Pierce Graphics. Pierce Graphics. Looks like we're doing 4 Cloak Media next week or Sunday.
Okay. And then you know next week being the Roval too, so very different. So how are you looking forward to that?
Oh, I'm excited, man. I love road course racing, especially in this car. I feel like this is my best road course racing car. Definitely gonna put some pre-race practice in for that one. I never usually do for any of these races, but definitely will for that one just to get the braking points down. But it's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be about who can send it latest into the corner. The next gen is really good with like lap 1 you'll break at like the 500, lap 2 400, lap 3, and then by like lap 10 you're braking at the 100 every lap. And you have to be consistent. The car is tough to drive, and it can take a couple hits. I definitely expect some bumpers to be thrown next week.
Yeah, I'm expecting it to be interesting too. Honestly, no, those races do kind of tend to mix up who's up front. So yeah, I'm excited for that as well. Before we let you go though, anyone you want to shout out? And I'll talk about our friend Pierce Graphics. So
Yeah, man. I'd like to, of course, shout out Prius Graphics, man. Doing a lot of work behind behind the show, behind all the stuff that the broadcasters use, man. I really hope a lot of these leagues can go purchase them, as I believe you use them.
yep,
Those graphics look
it
spot on.
works very well.
Next, I'd like to thank 4 Cloak Media for being the secondary sponsor on this car, another broadcasting group. Tune into Cast Car this Sunday at Nashville Super Speedway. I'll try to win that one as well. Yes, we got a pretty big lead in the championship with 2 races to go.
Oh, nice. So 2 leagues, both very good results.
Yes, sir. I'd like to thank Lorenzo Designs for making this scheme, and I'd like to thank Adra Esports for giving me the opportunity in the first place to come out here, race, and compete for wins and championships all year long.
Gotcha. Nice job.
I'd like to thank you, man, for putting a show, of course.
Thank you. Yeah, no, glad to not put you to sleep. Um, yeah, thank you for your time and have a good rest of your night.
Thanks, man.
All right, that was Brian, who we just talked about the win. Gonna do some fast thoughts because 11 o'clock. Overall, I did like it. No, first half, a little rocky. Like, is this gonna be like an eye pacing event? By the end though, definitely did shape up to be a good race. Yeah, even though they got spaced out, still a lot of good battles throughout the field. Next week we'll be at the Roval, 35 laps there. Typically it's about like 1 pit stop, and as Brian said, it'll be hectic just because these cars can soak up a lot of damage, and you know it's a different atmosphere, so we might see some different people up front. I still expect to see Brian up front too. Not sure kind of who our road course guys are in the series. Being the first out of 2 road course events. Our second road course is going to be Watkins Glen May 10th, and that'll be at the end of the round of 15. So that'll be interesting then too. Ending the round with Watkins Glen needing to be a good solid result for these people. This is Matt in the booth. We'll see you next week. Same time,